After pulling out of Coal Banks and crossing the Missouri River on that little ferry, I went up to Kalispell, Montana to visit friends for a couple of days, and then after a quick break, jumped back down to the Missouri and followed it again, and ended up at Three Forks, which is the headwaters of the Missouri River. I spent 5 days there exploring and getting to know the area.
Yeah, I'd rather look at mountains and scenery and lakes and creeks instead of buildings and sidewalks and concrete and asphalt, you know? That's what I like.
I had never planned to spend my life pursuing the perfect photograph. Yet, once you've experienced near perfection and the joy that brings, you hope the pursuit never ends. Chasing the light, finding visual inspiration to illuminate inner ambition, merging mind, emotion, spirit to see deeper and further, and along the way, receive new epiphanies. The Wandering Eye is a lifelong quest to capture the perfect moment. At the end of the video, I'll share my favorite pictures from my Three Forks experience, and as always, please subscribe to the channel. After nearly 2,000 miles and 8 weeks, I finally made it to the headwaters of the Missouri River at a little town called Three Forks. On my way into town, as always, I try to take small back roads, and I came across this bridge over the Jefferson River, which is one of the Three Forks, and all these people were jumping off of it. So I went and parked the RV, hopped on the motorcycle and rode back up there and met folks and started videotaping and photographing kind of small town life.
This little piggy went to the market. This little piggy went home.
People come from up to 100 miles to go and have fun there and jump and enjoy the time with others.
Carrie Lander.
Where are we?
We are at Highlight Canyon Reservoir.
When I was at the bridge jumping, I met Carrie and her 2 sons.
I think it's very placid, very tranquil. I enjoy being outdoors in Montana. It's easy to get away from the hustle and bustle of cities and just go out and be almost alone.
And they invited me to go to Palisade Falls, which is in a recreation area called Highlight Canyon, about 15 miles south of Bozeman. It's an amazing place. It has year-round activities, including in the winter, world-class ice climbing.
Perfect moment for me is tranquil. It's the absence of the background noise of life, when you can completely tune in and be present with whatever is happening right here in this moment.
I'm Coulter Szynski.
Coulter, how old are you?
I'm 13, about to be 14. Well, I know that Lewis and Clark really discovered a lot of the landmarks that we appreciate and visit nowadays. And without them, we wouldn't have known to preserve them and enjoy them like we do today. A perfect moment to me would probably be anything including the nature. Like this background here, this is near perfect right here.
It's been just profoundly base. You know, it's like at the core level, it just is such a fundamentally altering experience to do something like this. And I'm not even done. I've still got the bitter roots and the whole Columbia River to the coast. But something about getting to this point, to the Missouri headwaters. You know, when Lewis and Clark came through here with the core discovery, they stopped here for 3 days because they were sick. You know, members of the team were sick. They had their clothes were trashed. So they spent 3 days here making new clothes, recovering, getting better, getting ready for the push to final over the mountains. They had to find the Shoshone to try and barter for horses so they could get over the passes. And Sacagawea, or some people say Sacagawea, was instrumental in that because that was her tribe. And a few miles up the river, they met the Shoshone, and Sacagawea recognized that her brother was the chief. And so the connection was made, and the Corps of Discovery were able to complete their mission.
So this is the headwaters of the Missouri. I've been following it for almost 2,000 miles. And when Lewis and Clark came through here, they spent just 3 days here at the headwaters. I don't know if I put the video up before or after this of the replica of the dugout canoe. These things were massive. They were trees, heavy, and these guys are pulling these up this river. I went out fishing in it earlier and just about got swept away. The current was fast. I am amazed at the tenacity and just the will to go. Well, that's a cool path. I'm gonna take up this one right here. I'm gonna find a place I can shoot a picture of this. It is spectacular out. The sun is in the clouds over here. You've got this storm rolling in, all this amazing shape and color. This is what I go for when I'm out photographing. So I'm gonna go. Sometimes I see something and I just, it's better just to look at it, not even take the picture of it. This is an example of that. It's beautiful. It doesn't really click for me visually, photographically I should say, but it is spectacularly beautiful. Gosh, it's amazing. The air is so clean. I love it.
James Phillips, you're at antlerman.com. This is Three Forks, Montana, headwaters of the Missouri, and you're in the Horn Shed. Antlers, I have 16,250 some and still counting.
And I'll collect it over
62 years. I've been picking them up. I've never bought a horn, so pound for pound, I've packed them all on my back over 62 years.
But why in here?
He says, you must have had a hunting background. You must have started when you were hunting. I said, no, I started out of boredom. I was a 10-year-old kid. And for something to do, I'd go out, drag an antler back to the trailer, and I've been doing it ever since.
Oh my. How old are you, I can ask?
72.
So you've been doing this for 60 plus years.
Yeah. Antlers that were in a pile in a garage or a pile up in a yard. And I'd built 2 huge archways here myself. And that I wanted a place where they displayed. I wanted the tables slanted so the antlers could be displayed. I wanted poles. It's a clear span. I don't need the poles. So I could put antlers on. The walls double thick so I could put antlers anywhere I wanted. Even put them in the rafters. The newspaper in Bozeman, the Chronicle, came and they'd heard about it, and they came and they took a picture and they had an article in the paper.
Okay.
From that article, Field and Stream got a hold of the photographer, and they said, we would like a picture for what we call first shot or first something for the magazine. So he came, I stood right there, he stood right here, and he took 72 pictures of me. And one of them, I guess, was good enough to put in the magazine. And then from then it's built. I've been in other magazines. I've been on television. But I don't seek any of the publicity. Actually, I've had a lot of what I call perfect moments.
Great.
Some of them were with my daughters as they were growing up. Some of them were out in the hills when I was looking for antlers. I don't know if I could actually pick out just one.
It's awesome.
52 years of marriage, there had to be some there too.